We got Mac Jones taking on Zach Wilson in the battle of the rookies between the Patriots and the Jets. This is the first ever meeting between the Patriots.
September in South Florida, that means sun, heat, and humidity. And the third member of our on-air crew, Sarah Kustok, is down on the sideline battling the elements. How you doing, Sarah?
Brandon, I'll be glistening all day, but you got it. The heat for a September game here in Miami Gardens. Add something extra to home field advantage. No shade on the visitor sideline. Yesterday at this time, Michigan State players needed oxygen tanks during their game against the Hurricanes. Temp now is 90, feels like 100. Talked to Stephon Diggs after warm-ups drenched in sweat, and he simply said, look at me, it is hot as heck. Diggs told me he's already got some IVs, but the hydration emphasis has started early in the week for Buffalo. It will continue today. BG, Matt, you guys enjoy the booth today.
It's still hot up here, just not as hot as it is down on the field. That's a good point. Had the game here yesterday. Browns crew had to scramble, repaint the field, get everything set to go, and we are ready. Week 2 with Miami receiving. And a touchback off the right foot of Tyler Bass.
Maybe they could turn the air conditioning down a little bit in this booth. I'm getting a little chilly up here.
Here comes Tua Tagovailoa, his 11th start, 7-3 in the first 10 starts, Matt, after getting the win in New England last week.
Yeah, Tonga's come a long way from a year ago, but he still has a ways to go. He's definitely going to need some help in this run game for him to be efficient.
Took over as the starter middle of last year, 6-3 down the stretch, and getting the win against fellow Alabama mate Mac Jones and the Patriots last week. He starts here, going to the air, pressure, and an early sack off the edge. Coming in, Taron Johnson, who led the Bills last week with 7 tackles, putting his fingerprints on this game early.
Yeah, you talk about early. So the biggest thing is they go with a 2-man route, and it's just coverage. And so because they have coverage down the field, safety stays in a hole where he has to. There's nowhere to go for this thing, and the net result is a sack off the edge. Johnson does a nice job. He came free, by the way.
Well, they had 2 sacks last week against Pittsburgh. It's been a point of emphasis for Buffalo, and Johnson gets one early here. 7-yard loss. Now on 2nd and 17, they'll try Gaskin, and Gaskin gets some of that back. Brought down by Levi Wallace. But this offense for Miami, up front, Austin Jackson on the left side, Jesse Davis on the right side. One thing to note at the wide receiver spot, Will Fuller is out again this week for personal reasons, Matt.
Yeah, so Waddle and Parker and Wilson are still a group that can get the job done. And I think when this offense is on, Mike Gesicki's the guy who moves the sticks. Only played about 20 plays last week. They need to get him involved early.
Yeah, they held the tight end without a catch last week to the Patriots. Tua with an early 3rd and 11, and he goes down again. 2 sacks and a 3-and-out for this Buffalo defense as Micah Hyde gets to the quarterback.
Well, you can see they're going to bring the heat again. They're bringing 5. Nobody picks up Hyde. I mean, you come free, you better make that play, and he does just that. Well done. Good coverage down the field. He wasn't able to hit it off, quick, get it out of his hands. But a good first series for this Buffalo defense.
You said it, both sacks unabated to the quarterback.
Not only that, nobody touched him.
Yeah. Scott free, now McKenzie.
Oh, he's got room.
Electric returner. And what a start for the Buffalo Bills. Now we'll see if the offense and Josh Allen can keep up with the early momentum. 51 attempts last week. That was a career high for Josh Allen, but he got sacked 3 times. He got hit 8 times in that game.
Yeah, what they really need to do, again, it's no difference. You have to have balance in your offense. When a defense knows you're just going to throw the football, they can get after you pretty well. So they've got to have a little bit of balance at this run game. Josh Allen can get into his comfort zone.
Devin Singletary starts in the backfield to the left of Allen. And too high. Going for Diggs, NFL's leading receiver a year ago, but he overshot him. Diggs obviously one of the headliners on this Bills offense. It actually outgained the Steelers 371 to 252 in yards last week, but they lost where it matters, 23-16.
Yeah, there's going to be a great matchup all game long here. You got Xavier Howard on Diggs. That's the must-see TV.
Xavier Howard, the electric corner for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, they're on the top part of your screen. You can see all the way at the top.
They will try that run game here in a big hole. Devin Singletary, foot race, touchdown Buffalo.
A week ago, this Buffalo offensive line got beat up by the Steelers. This is a different time right now. That's a right up the middle. I mean, this offensive line, it was assignment right, and Singletary hit a crease, and he's off to the races. Just a really well done job by the O-line. Singletary used his eyes to find it.
46 yards. Less than 2.5 minutes in. Buffalo gets the stop, 2 sacks. And then Singletary takes it to the house. Extra point good, 7-0. Buffalo did not have a 100-yard rusher all of last season. Singletary 46-0 in an AFC East battle in Miami Gardens, Florida.
Yeah, and so this offensive line, that was blocked extremely well. Feliciano had a key block, and a week ago he had a rough time with Hayward. Hayward was kind of throwing him all around the place, but he came back to play this week.
Well, we mentioned about that entire O-line last week. Gave up the 3 sacks. They were called for 6 holds, that Buffalo offensive line.
The left side on that play, so Dawkins, the tackle, Feliciano, and Mitch Morse, all 3 of those guys did a great job, and they're looking at it right now on their little tablet.
They're going to like what they see. That was the longest play for Buffalo. They did not have a play of that length last week.
He's going to bring it out.
Yeah, Grant's going to elect to return it. Might be a good decision. Well, just across the 25 where he would have been with a touchback. All right, let's go back to that 46-yard run, Matt.
Yeah, and let's take a look at that left side of that offensive line, because they did a great job. You're going to watch all 3 of these guys right here, and they're going to get to where they have to get, right? And so this is assignment football. Nice job by Morris to center. Feliciano, you can see Morris right here. That's really well done. Right here. That's just a good job on a down block, and they get to the second level. And then once Singletary sees that, safety just runs away from it at 6 quick. Well done.
So now Tua Tagovailoa, who got sacked twice on the first drive of the game, will turn around and hand it off to Gaskin. And the second drive started much better than the first for Miami as Gaskin gets to the outside.
Boyer was able to run him down and get him out of bounds, but nice job. It starts on the inside, and then it's going to bounce to the outside. This is all with his eyes, okay? Right here, there. He sees it, run where they're not, right? That's what they say. And so you draw him back to the inside, and a nice cut to the outside, and Gaskin's off to the races.
18 yards for Gaskin, who led Miami last year with 584 yards on the ground. Now Tua, off the bootleg, just going to have to get rid of it because Mario Addison was applying pressure. This Buffalo defense, one thing they didn't do in week 1 was get a takeaway, and that was something that they were so good at last year with 26 of them.
Well, this is a good defensive front when they're on, right? And so I'll be anxious to see what happens here as this game goes on and the heat has an effect on them if they don't just slow down, because right now they're playing fast.
And it is hot, it is humid in South Florida here on September 19th. Tua, complete, first down. As he finds Devontae Parker, there's a flag on the field.
And they caught him in a cover, too. They were trying to disguise it. Tua read it really well and picked the right guy. Let's see what happens with this flag.
Ineligible man downfield. Offense, number 73. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's left tackle Austin Jackson.
Yeah, he's not eligible. We need to explain that to him. Don't go down that far. You can see him up here. He's right here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You only get 1 yard in the NFL.
Yeah. And unfortunately for guys like that, 1 step is a yard. So you take more than 1 step, they have a cause to throw it.
So back him up 2nd and 15. Erase the catch by Parker. Got 2 backs in there with Ahmed. And try to set it up the other direction to Gaskin, but incomplete. As we check in for our first game break, here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Saints-Panthers opening drive in Carolina for Darnold versus the Saints D that's out 4 starters. Sam Darnold rolls to his right, finds Brandon Zylstra for this 20-yard score. Panthers 7-0.
Thank you, Carissa. Good start there for Carolina. It's been a great start so far here for Buffalo.
Well, you got 3rd and long, which is exactly where this defense wants to have them, and this is exactly what Miami didn't want to get into. They don't want to be in 3rd and long.
They go for a screen out left. Several blockers. A short Jalen Waddle, the rookie, number 6 pick from Alabama.
Waddle got some jets on him, and he's got a little bit of make you miss him as well. And the crowd right now,
they want him to go for it.
Yeah, they want to go.
Well, what do you think? 4th and 2, you're on the 48.
And so for me, I would say no, but they're going to go for it. And that's why I'm not coaching. There's a lot of people in Detroit that says, oh, thank goodness.
Brian Flores is saying, all right, fellas, pick up the 2 yards. Tua out of the gun, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
The hit was the big difference in the pressure because he was going to have an open guy. Waddle looked like Waddle was given an option, and Tua's getting up slow.
3rd time that Tua has been knocked to the ground. This time it's A.J. Epinesa. And Tua's in some pain. 2 minutes. He finally did walk off, but obviously, Matt, in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and it looks like he held his rib initially. He's walking uncomfortably. It was a clean hit all the way through. He tried to come back to Waddle in the slot, and he just took a good hit, and that's the nature of this game.
2 sacks on the first drive, and then Tua getting hit there by A.J. Epinesa. So we'll see if he can come back. If not, it'll be Jacoby Brissett. But right now, the eyes focus on Josh Allen. 2nd drive for Buffalo. Allen swings it out wide, and it's complete to Isaiah McKenzie, but not going very far as he's wrapped up by Justin Coleman.
Yeah, I wanted to show you this hit there because it's clear. It's clean all the way through. It's going to come off the edge. It's not like it's a big deal, but he whiffs the tackle. The right tackle whiffs, and that's just, you can't do that. That's Jesse Davis, and Jesse Davis doesn't slow him down at all. So it's a full speed hit into the quarterback. That hurts.
1 yard gain for McKenzie. 2nd and 9. Singletary, who had the 46-yard touchdown run, gets a couple here. 3rd down Buffalo, and Tua now on the cart heading out.
Yeah, that's not very promising for Tua. Buffalo going a little bit of hurry up here in this offense. Dolphins tried to get their personnel in as quickly as they could. And if it sounds like it's awful loud for the away team, it's because I think there's more Buffalo jerseys here than Miami jerseys.
Yeah, I saw a lot of them coming in. Allen looking for 5 yards. You know he can run it. And there's evidence of it. 1st down. Allen picks it up. He needed 5. He got 6.
He's bigger than most quarterbacks. He's got the size of Roethlisberger, but he's got the athleticism of Elway. And he's got an arm like Favre. Now that's a heck of a combination.
Yeah, it is.
So what he doesn't have yet is the mind and seeing things of Peyton. And when he gets that, he'll get there. He's a smart kid. When he gets there, it's going to be something to watch.
45th career start for Josh Allen. 28 and 16 as a starter in Buffalo. Last week, by the way, 9 carries, 44 yards. Here off the play fake. Winds up. And it's caught. Down to the 5-yard line. Into the hands of Emmanuel Sanders, the new guy.
Brandon, remember a week ago when I said this offensive line was getting beat up? I want you to watch this right now. Because what this is all good protection in here. It's because of that offensive line. He's got all day to make this throw, and he puts it right where it can, the only place he's going to catch it. Perfect throw, drop the dime.
So 2 explosive plays on the first drive, the 46-yard run. That a 35-yard connection. Allen to Sanders. Rolling out Allen. And, yeah, just going to get rid of it.
That's smart. Good coverage by the Dolphins on the back end. They just tried to roll it out, and then you come to your receivers. Great coverage, and this secondary did a good job.
This defense gave up 393 yards, but just 16 points against New England last week. They bent, but they didn't break. They've kind of broken a little bit here early.
Yeah, one of the things you're going to have to do is one of those guys is going to have to step up to rush the passer. If they have to start committing extra people, that's not going to be good.
Great job by Emmanuel Ogbah. At 275 pounds, shooting in there to connect with Singletary. And here is the full allotment of that Miami defense.
Wilkins he's legit. Baker, good player. Van Ginkel has a little bit of pass rush in him. But this is a good secondary. Both these corners can play.
And 2 of the highest paid corners in the league.
See if they don't match up. You got a matchup down below. You got a one-on-one here on the bottom of your screen.
That's Sanders. Allen. Extending. And able to find Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Buffalo. You mentioned it, Matt. Allen does so well. He just finds a way to extend plays with his leg.
That's the whole key right there. And here's the other key. Stephon Diggs and he are on the same page. And so when Diggs sees that he starts running away, he'll come back to him. And he sees him on the backside. He does a great job of finding him. And this is the Elway arm I'm talking about. John used to throw those things across the field. He could do the same thing.
And Diggs had 9 catches last week, but didn't find the end zone. He finds the end zone here on his first catch in week 2. And Buffalo with a 14-0 lead early.
Stephon Diggs and Xavier Howard on the top side. Now, all you young players out there, I want you to remember this. Never stop playing. Never stop. Even if you fall down like Stephon Diggs does. Xavier Howard, he packs it in. What does Diggs do? He gets back up. What's the result? Touchdown. Great lesson to learn. You never, ever quit on a play.
Howard lost his shoe in the process as well. And Diggs has his first touchdown catch of the season.
I think Howard's an outstanding corner. But that's a lesson he won't repeat.
He got that big contract signed just before the season. Well, there's still time to play the $1 million Fox Super 6 NFL contest. It's free and easy. Just enter now, correctly pick the outcomes from 6 of today's game for your chance to win $1 million. Scan the QR code now. Download the app. Play for free.
Brandon, one thing I know about this, Terry will not give you his money. That is not his money.
So
that I can guarantee.
So Tua Tagovailoa goes off on the cart. Now Jacoby Brissett, who does have 32 NFL starts under his belt, 30 in Indianapolis, 2 in New England, comes in here at first quarter. Throws a sidearm Mahomes pass. Wow, he snuck it in there to Devontae Parker.
Well, he had to. They had a free blitzer coming off the edge right into his face. And so this is a great adjustment on the throw. Jacoby Brissett just goes from over the top to sidearm and throws it right past the safety. That's a great effort.
That's the 4th time, though, Matt, that they've had free rushers off the edge.
Coming off the edge clean. You got to clean that up. Here it is again.
And because of that, the run play gets blown up. White comes off the edge. Gaskins could never get that thing started on the ground.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's a corner coming. You have to have an answer for that. At the very least, on the outside, they should be alerting everybody to the inside. But that's 2 plays in a row, and the net result is 3rd and 5, although it is manageable.
last year in this department. Brissett under duress and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Greg Rousseau, the rookie who played his college ball right here for the Miami Hurricanes, feels comfortable in his old stadium.
Yeah, so Brissett's going to miss. He's going to make the miss the first one. You're going to see him back here. Here comes up inside, okay? Now he's going to get out of that. He made a miss. Now get his eyes downfield, but Rousseau did a great job of cleaning everything up while everybody else kicked him out. That's just good team defense, Brian.
First round pick, number 30 overall, and that forces the punt. And McKenzie with a fair catch at the 26. Another game break. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Brandon. Rams-Colts. Rams offense picking up right where they left off last week. Stafford finds Cooper Kupp for this 16-yard score. Stafford 5 for 5 for 82 yards on that opening drive. Indy would add a field goal. It's 7-3. Rams are up.
All right, Carissa, so that's Jacoby Brissett's old team. And first drive for Brissett and this offense. It's been a tough first quarter for Miami.
Well, they've got to figure out these blitzes that are coming from Buffalo, because I like Brissett. I think Brissett can play, and I think he can throw, but no quarterback can throw when they're getting pressured like this.
98-26 the yardage so far.
If you juxtapose what we've been seeing with Josh Allen, he hasn't been getting any pressure.
Handing it off. Zach Moss bouncing off defenders and picking up the first down. Moss last week was a surprise healthy scratch, but he's inserted into the lineup here in week 2. That's his first carry.
Yeah, he's running behind his pads. See how he did that? So he took the guy straight on, never stopped his feet, kept his shoulders square, kept his balance, and then picked up a first down. This is really well done. All you young running backs out there, watch this. Boom, right down, lowers his shoulder, uses that as a defense shield, and then picks up more.
After being benched last week, he's tweeted out on Monday, control your controllables. And he's getting an opportunity here in the first quarter to control those controllables. Just a 1-yard gain there.
What this Miami defense has got to be able to do is get them into third and long situations, and when they do that, the next piece is you've got to get pressure, because if they don't get pressure on Josh Allen, he'll maul him.
Now, Brian Flores cannot like the start, and his teams have struggled against Buffalo. He has yet to beat the Bills. Bills have won 5 straight in this series dating back to 2018. Oh, there's a fumble. Miami picks it up. Brandon Jones able to pounce on it. And then into the hands of Holland after all that. Miami will have the football. And that keeps the streak alive, Matt. 24 straight games for the Dolphins with a takeaway. That's the longest streak in the National Football League.
Now they've got to do something with it. And so getting the takeaways is half the battle. Doing something with it, that's the whole battle. This is the best. This is the time in football. That's transition football. And who wins the transition usually wins the game.
So Moss didn't play last week, was scratched, and on his third touch here, he fumbles. It's fumbled twice, but Holland jumps on it for Miami.
Ohio State just hitting a stride. Good football play.
So now, great field position just outside the 40. Again, it's Brissett in for Tua Tagovailoa, who left with an apparent rib injury. Savon Ahmed gets his first carry, short gain.
Yeah, another nice play by Rousseau. A nice job shedding the block and then coming down and making that play, setting up this second and long. Rousseau's got some great skills, great skill set.
Remember last year he didn't play in his final season for the Miami Hurricanes, a COVID opt-out, so it had been a while since he had seen the field before last week. 118. Whistles before the snap here. As the flags fly.
Ball start. Offense, number 81. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And that's on the tight end, Durham Smythe.
Yeah, we talked about getting Gesicki involved. Now, Gesicki's not he's an outside guy. Really, he's a wide receiver. He's not a real tight end. They call him a tight end, but he's not a tight end. We need to see Gesicki get involved in this offense. I see they just brought him in after that jump, but this is a guy who's a hard guy to cover. He's got great radius, he's tall, can jump through the roof. He's a guy you can use.
And last week, to your point, no catches, and last year he was second on the team in receiving yards. This one is batted free. Coming up with a full head of steam was Levi Wallace, the corner out of Alabama. But wait, we got a flag.
Well, that was a great. I thought they got there at the same time.
It looked like it.
Yeah, and that was, to me, that was great defense. You be the judge in this one right here. Wallace reads it perfectly. Watch the drive. Boom.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Defense number 39.
He got him for chirping at the end here.
An automatic first down.
Yeah, right there. So anytime you do that, he's talking to him all the way through. Yeah, Levi will learn that one. Keep your mouth shut. You'll be better off.
And that is an even bigger point of emphasis this season by the National Football League.
Exactly. But I got to tell you, Levi Wallace, that was a tremendous read and break on the ball. Really well done.
Miles Gaskin trying to find a hole, but there is no hole. This Buffalo front really showing something. That time Matt Milano gets credit for the stop.
Yeah, but Ed Oliver on the inside, and you can see right there, number 49, that's Edmonds. Edmonds a big kid now. That's 6'5", 245 pounds. There was nowhere to go there. They shut him down and sets up this second and long.
Miami still just 28 yards of offense. Brissett pumps. And that one intercepted. That's Wallace making up for the penalty.
They try to double move, Brandon. What they were going to try to do is fake it down below and then throw it over the top. But watch Wallace. He never bites. He just keeps on getting depth. And that's like stealing right there. That was just not a good decision by Brissett, and a great decision by Wallace of playing the defense properly and maintaining discipline of scheme. Very well done by Wallace.
And they were finally trying to target Gesicki, the tight end, but Wallace stepped right in front.
If he'd have not put as much air under it, he may have had a chance, but I got to tell you, Wallace read that thing and played it perfectly.
By the way, we're told Tua Tagovailoa is officially a rib injury. He's questionable to return.
Yeah, ribs. Yeah, that's tough to come off
of. Less than 2 to play in the opening frame. And good job off the edge. Eric Rowe got in there for the stop on Singletary.
Yeah, Rowe dropped down fast. That's got to be, your quarterback has to see that. So he's got to be able to see that coming, and then you're going to watch him drop down off the right side here. Here he comes. Yeah, and he comes late. He does a good job. It might have even been too hard to call it right there, but you have to have awareness of it. A lot more blitzing today than I remember a week ago.
There is. Blitzes that have gotten home. Josh Allen 4 of 6 so far. And now 4 of 7. It's caught, but well on the sideline by a guy who's not playing in the ball game.
But what a catch it was. Yeah.
3rd down and 11.
I think you call them belly catches. So Allen didn't have to move from the pocket. His pocket was established. He felt that he had a little bit of pressure, but he really didn't.
Sean McDermott 7-1 against Miami. He said, I don't know what it is, but for some reason we've just had success against these guys, and that's been the case early.
That's a good football coach right there.
They need 11. And he's not going to get it. Got knocked to the ground, and also Baker got his hands on it, and Buffalo will have to punt.
Yeah, we were talking about Baker this week. I just think he's a good football player. I think he has a good understanding in the pass game as well as in the run game. And we saw it both on this series. That time he was able to eyeball the quarterback as he's moving and get in his vision, and then just do a good job of getting your hands up right there.
And the pressure was by Sam Eglavon. And now Matt Hawk, who is actually the Dolphins starting punter the last 4 seasons, back in familiar territory. And Jakeem Grant takes it at the 30. And a flag comes in. Our referee today, Craig Wrolstad, been an NFL official since 2003.
Good official.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
With 51 seconds left in the first quarter.
And you can see it right there. Yeah, that's more of a hug than a hold.
All right, we'll be right back after this message from Progressive.
Flip or fold? Stand out with the all-new Samsung Galaxy Z Series 5G. Even better with Bell, Canada's fastest 5G network.
So Jacoby Brissett throwing the interception last time. Look, they're 0-3 on third downs, 0-1 on fourth down, and those 3 sacks they've given up already.
Exactly. We've been getting pressure regardless who's back there. This offensive line needs to get a little better.
They hold up here, and he flips it to the outside into the hands of Gaskin out of the backfield.
Yeah, nice coverage there by Milano, but also a good throw by Brissett.
Now, I said it, but remember, this is a guy that started 32 games, 30 of them in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So
he knows what he's looking at. He understands. He has a feel for the pocket. He's a good football player. I've always liked him.
he was the Colts starter in 2017 and 2019. Backed up Phillip Rivers last year, then came to Miami in the offseason. 2nd and 4, batted free. Jordan Poyer, the veteran, in his 9th year, knocking it free.
Yeah, that's really well done by Poyer. Oregon State guy. You know, he and Micah Hyde back there, that's a good combination. But see how he stays on the hip? And they're trying to get to Gesicki inside. He couldn't separate. Poyer does a nice job of coming around after staying on the hip and sets up this 3rd down. Well played.
Poyer also had a sack last week against Pittsburgh. Good start to the season. Set on 3rd and 4. And that's the first 3rd down conversion today for Miami as he finds the rookie Waddle.
Nicely done by Waddle to come back, and Jacoby Brissett does a good job. Eyes downfield as he's running. He's getting pressure inside out. Keep your eyes down the field, and somebody's got to come back to him. And you can see Waddle right there. That's just good football.
Final seconds ticking off, and they're not going to get another play here in the first quarter. Miami trying to gain some traction, but Buffalo dominated the opening frame. Brandon Gaud, Matt Mellon, Sarah Kustok with you, and 2 head coaches after that first quarter. One's happy, one's not. I mean, Miami had the ball for 8:49, but that stat doesn't really matter when you're down 14-0.
Yeah, absolutely. So really the big thing is 2 big plays. That's really the difference in the football game.
The long run by Singletary, long catch by Sanders. Brissett off the play fake. Oh, good fake. And he gets some yards out of it as he steps out of bounds after a pickup of 6.
Well, Tre'Davious White thought he was going to have himself a sack. And trust me, for a corner who doesn't come on a blitz, when he has an opportunity to make a tackle in the background, you jump up and down, but not like that. Yeah, he got him up in the air and he got him off with White's a really good player. I mean, that's a good, really good corner.
And Brissett, by the way, he did actually come in the game last week against New England, had a couple of third down conversions on short runs, but he didn't throw any passes last week. Pocket collapses, complete, another first down, and it's Waddle again. And you said it, Matt, but they have just been raving about this rookie out of Alabama.
And rightly so. And so what Jalen Waddle's doing right now is they're putting people down the field. He's working the underneath on the backers or the nickel, whoever it is. Waddle can scoot now. He can go. And so they're using him on the underneath stuff, and it's working.
Had a touchdown last week in his first NFL game. Savon Ahmed, but that running game really hasn't been able to get a whole lot going. I mean, and that's kind of been the story. Miami hasn't had a 1,000-yard rusher, Matt, since 2016 with Jay Ajayi.
Say that again 5 times fast.
And that was also their last playoff appearance, was 2016.
Yeah. Look, they have to have themselves a running game to go with this passing game, and they've not been able to establish that.
Faking again here. But then just a 1-yard gain for Brissett. Tre'Davious White again getting the pressure. Yep.
And he got up on his feet again. Yeah, so I mean, it's a natural reaction to get off your feet, but if you can discipline yourself not to, you take the tackle, not try to knock the ball down, get the hit. See how he gets up in the air, and again, Brissett just makes him miss. It's still a great defensive play because he forced him back to the inside, so that was smart. But he had 2 sack opportunities, and it was an over.
He's coming off 2 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances.
That's a good football player.
5th year out of Louisiana State.
Oh, he's got him wide open.
Got hit as he released it, but he does find Gesicki. And there is the first catch of the season for the tight end out of Penn State.
Yeah, I want you to watch what the linebackers do. They jump up fast, right? And then Gesicki gets behind him, and they don't get enough depth. You're going to watch, see, they're in the line of scrimmage now. They're going to get their depth, and they only dropped about 5 yards. Gesicki just gets behind him. Jacoby Brissett was able to find it, even with Milano all over him.
Gesicki second on the team last year with 703 receiving yards. His first one there to keep the drive alive. Brissett again has to escape. Launches for the end zone. Through the hands of Devontae Parker. Oh, he should have had it.
They should be cheering right now for a score. That's on Parker completely. Now White's on top of him, right? So good coverage. Stay on his hip. Looks back inside. Locates everybody. Now, here's the second part. They don't quit. Great job. Now White right there. Right there at the end. He needed to stay inside. He didn't. Parker goes up for it. Tries to highball it. Exactly where it should. High point, rather. And he doesn't come down with the catch.
That's one Parker normally gets. Guy who spent all 7 years of his career here in Miami. Underneath, Adam Shaheen. Flag comes in. Shaheen had the COVID-19 list on his name for the last couple of weeks. This is his first game of the season.
This is going to go against Buffalo, and they'll decline it probably. Yeah, I know. They'll probably take it. Give him a second down is short.
Offside. Defense, number 94. Lined up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Now on Vernon Butler.
So he lined up in the neutral zone, so it's a gimme. So if you don't get more than 5 yards, you just take the penalty and get another down. And they were right there at that mark.
Well, with Shaheen back from the COVID list, they've got options at tight end. He and Smythe and Gesicki.
Yeah, Gesicki's down here second from the bottom.
Brissett fires a strike to the 15-yard line. And it's back to that tight end, Mike Gesicki.
Remember we said at the start of the game, they have to get this guy involved. He's really a wide receiver. They try to cover him, though, with nickels or backers or safeties, and that's a mismatch. Because Gesicki Gesicki has really good hands. He runs decent routes, not great routes. But, man, he's got a radius on him.
Man down. Let's go back to Carissa Thompson for a game break.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Elsewhere in the AFC East, a matchup of two rookie first-round quarterbacks, Zach Wilson with 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Patriots take advantage as James White takes this one in from 7 yards out. The Jets would add a field goal. Patriots leading 10-3. Brandon?
Thank you, Carissa. Levi Wallace, who is down right now for Buffalo.
And that's not good for Buffalo. That's a good player.
Had the interception.
Hopefully, when they do stuff like that, usually they're getting tight, hamstring maybe. Maybe it's a lack of water. They got those dark jerseys on, which, just so you know, Miami always declares their home jersey is white, which puts every team coming in here in their dark jerseys, and it makes a difference.
Those are the snaps you talked about for Gesicki.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Matt, we always talk about when teams have to go up to places like Buffalo in December and January and how hard that is. But what about a team like Buffalo coming down to Miami early in the season?
No, that's brutal. So for me, look, fat guys like the cold, right? So I was always happy whenever we went cold. I could not take this weather. Stuff like this is brutal.
Let's go down to Sarah.
Oh, Brandon, it's been an emphasis all week. There is a body mass index chart in the locker room of Buffalo starting on Monday for them to understand how much water they needed to drink, to stay hydrated, drink that Pedialyte. And they came into this focus understanding it's going to be an aspect that they're going to have to deal with.
Well, they're up 14-0, but Miami trying to change that. And Brissett, with the play clock down at 2, is going to take a timeout.
I was just going to say, keep your eyes on Waddle. He's roaming underneath inside, and that's the guy that he's comfortable with. Here's the thing: Brissett sees the whole field, and he's able to maneuver a little bit with his feet as well. And so Waddle's the guy. Waddle is one, and Gesicki's the other. That'll move the chains.
By the way, Levi Wallace, you saw him walk off. He had the interception earlier on the defensive side for Buffalo, so we'll try to get a check-in on him. But we build this early as an important Week 2 matchup, and it is. Dolphins, the only team that won last week in the AFC East. Buffalo, the favorites coming into the year.
There's Waddle right there. Gesicki's down here, one-on-one.
11th play of the drive, it's to Waddle. Waddle dances around to the 11.
Waddle don't waddle. Waddle's got some quicks, and he's in and out of his breaks really quickly, and he's good one-on-one out in open space, which is why they did that. And now you're down to second down. If you're going to throw the football, you keep your eyes on 88. If he's a mismatch with a corner or a backer, he's got to go to him.
Gesicki had 6 touchdowns last year. A lot of them coming down here in this prime red zone real estate.
Second from the top. Looks like they're playing with a backer first and it's over the top of the safety.
And it's dropped. This time it's Albert Wilson. First time they've targeted the 7th-year receiver. And he opted out last year due to COVID. This would have been his first catch since 2019.
Yeah, so see what they've done. They've gone to, because they've been getting all this pressure, this ball should have been caught, right? The second pass has been dropped. But what they've been doing is because they're getting pressure so much, he's getting rid of the ball quickly, so you're running these short routes underneath. And now you're third down. Now you have to find the sticks, so you defend the sticks. They're walked up, look like they're in man on the top side. You got one-on-one. Down below, it's going to be combination. See if they don't run a rubber. And they do. Back inside.
Need to get to the 5 for a first down. Oh, he dropped it. Grant fumbled it.
Yeah, but did they give him forward progress? And it looks like they're not.
Grant lost it, and Milano the one there. And Buffalo gets the takeaway.
They're coming back underneath. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a fumble.
And Miami's drive, Matt, went 13 plays, and it
is the game. Whoever takes care of the ball generally wins the game. Right now, Buffalo's been taking care of the football, and Miami has not.
Takes the snap at one, does Allen, and hands it off. Josh Allen 4 of 8 throwing it, but this is a guy, when he has faced the Miami Dolphins, has been so good. 5-1 against them, and his numbers are through the roof.
Yeah, and really he should be 6-0. There was a drop touchdown, if I remember, in that first game, that he really should be 6-0. And then sometimes it just happens like that. You don't know why. You heard him talking to Brian Flores, and he's heard the same thing talking on the other side. They have no idea why it happens. It's just Sean McDermott's like, I don't know, but I'll take it.
Yeah, take it. In 3 of those 5 wins against Miami, he was actually named AFC East, or AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I should say. This time Cole Beasley first catch, but he's going nowhere as a gang of Dolphins brings him down.
Going to set up a 3rd and long, which is exactly what Miami wants to be able to do. See, Beasley's got to just motion out there. Now it's just rally to the football. They did a nice job there on the outside with Byron Jones, the corner. He kept his leverage, forced everything back inside. And because he did that, it sets up this 3rd and long.
Just getting enough. They go right back to number 11, Cole Beasley, and Buffalo is now 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions.
That's on Coleman, and look, that's great coverage by Coleman. But what Beasley was able to do was he was able to get inside position on him. And so you just use your body as a shield.
Offense, number 75. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Well, we talked about the career year that Diggs had last year. Don't forget about Beasley, career high in receptions and yards. See the movement up front.
They could have chosen 1 or 2 of them.
That's one where if you're the guy that the official calls the name of, you're like, really? Why me? Like, what?
Well, when you're as big as Williams, it's hard to hide.
330-pounder. So after the penalty, 1st and 15. Allen, too much. Try to get Singletary down the sideline. Another game break. Here's Carissa.
Thanks, Brandon. Steelers trailing 6-0 on the Raiders. Ben Roethlisberger hands it off to Juju Smith-Schuster, who does the rest. Steelers leading this one 7-6. Brandon?
Thank you, Carissa. The Steelers, who beat Buffalo last week 23-16, trying to get to 2-0.
Raiders looked pretty good last week.
They did. Again, just getting that snap off. Trying to fit it in, and that ball is intercepted. Bouncing into the hands of Xavier Howard, the star cornerback for Miami. He led the NFL last year with 10 picks, and now he gets his first of 2021.
And he does it the way he's always done, with great coverage, great fundamentals, holds the outside. Stay on top of him, right there, on that hip, and close. That's just really good. It almost looks like the ball, let's see where the ball went first. It almost looks like Diggs knocked the ball to him almost. Yeah, he's a little he should be mad, a little mad at himself, because he almost appeared like he threw it behind Diggs a little more than he wanted to. But Howard comes up with it. It's a great takeaway. So
the 10 interceptions last year, the one you just saw, and he also forced and recovered the game-winning fumble last week. He is a game wrecker on defense. And remember, Xavier Howard, they were having trouble getting a contract done with him in July. In fact, he requested a trade, but they finally got the deal done.
Well, there aren't very many corners like him. And if you have one, you keep him. I mean, it's just, he's just an outstanding player.
Well, he's got Miami set up in good position here. Remember last time they got in the red zone, they turned it over on the fumble. Brissett wrapped up. Doesn't go to the ground. Now he does. But Matt Milano,
he's been playing an excellent first half.
Really has.
But again, he came clean, and he should do that. And they've got to get their protections straightened out, because Milano's going to come off the bottom. You see him 58 right there on the left side of your screen. Nobody touches him. That's the third time we've watched a guy come completely clean, and the net result is a sack. Sets up this, what, third and 15 here.
Fourth sack already for this Bills defense.
That's on the protection. That's not on any man.
Remember, they got a sack on Tua, knocked him out of the game. Completion, but just short of the marker. Waddle.
The more I watch Waddle, the more I like him. He knows how to work the inside of the field. He knows how to work defenders. And he knows how to run his routes, right? So there's a time to accelerate, and there's a time not to accelerate. You saw that right there with Waddle. He got into his route, and when he made his break, then he hit another gear. Really well done.
Saw him go for it around the 50. Here on 4th and 2, they're going to go again.
Yeah, I like this decision here.
Malcolm Brown checks in as the tailback. And they give it to him. Stretching out, it's close.
Close.
From where they are coming in, I don't know that he got it.
Left to right foot, and it looks like he gave him the left foot from the top side, which makes it short.
Dane Jackson with a tackle. And Malcolm Brown is stopped short. 2 times Miami has gone for it on 4th down, both times unsuccessful.
One in there, Justin Zimmer. He's the guy who makes the play. He blows up that double team, forces them outside, and Jackson, he's the guy who's the only guy unblocked. He's got to make the play, and he does just that.
So Miami now with 2 turnovers, and twice they've been stopped on 4th down. It's still scoreless as we're inside of 5.5 minutes.
So what Zimmer did right there, that's really hard to do. I mean, he took on a double team, split it, and got penetration, rerouted the running back, and then was able to make the play by Jackson. That's just good football there, Justin Zimmer. Nice haircut, by the way.
Buzz look, undrafted free agent back in 2016 and has risen the ranks in the NFL. Ground game again. Singletary, who hasn't been able to do much since that 46-yard touchdown run early. That'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, Feliciano getting up slow.
That Bills offensive line has looked much better this week.
Today, they're playing like the Bills played a year ago. And then much was said about Feliciano losing a bunch of weight. And, you know, Hayward last week got after him pretty good. And you know, all you have to do is challenge a guy, right? That's all you have to do. Tell him he's not up to snuff, and Feliciano will meet the call, just like he's doing today. And I'm sure Sean McDermott made sure he would meet that.
Need 1 yard. I think he's short.
I think you're right.
Handed it off to Moss, but from the spot, this is going to be 4th and about a foot.
See what kind of movement they got right there. And they didn't. Oh, that's a great job. I can't see the number. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's number 90 did a great job. Big John Jenkins on the inside. Man, that's just power football.
John Jenkins, Matt, by the way, playing because Raekwon Davis injured his knee last week and went on the IR.
He's going to try. You see that? He's going to try to make a jump offside.
Yeah. And just before the play clock expires, timeout, Sean McDermott. We'll be right back after this message from Geico.
Did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Okay, I'm a big fan of the sprinkles at the end. Sorry.
You mentioned John Jenkins, though. That injury to Raekwon Davis, again, he has to sit a minimum of 3 weeks. That could be big. John Jenkins is going to be an important player for them.
Hey, I watched this guy when he was at Georgia, and he mauled people. That's a big man, and when he plays with leverage, like you saw right there, there's few guys who can take him one-on-one. That's a powerful man.
9-year veteran, and as expected, after trying to draw the defense off sides, Buffalo now has a punting unit out there.
At 3.5 minutes here. Miami has got to get on the board before this half ends. Even if it's just 3, they got to get on the board.
Second punt for Matt Hawk today. And he angles it out of bounds. So Miami will start just outside of the 30-yard line. John Jenkins, that Miami defense holding firm. Birthday to Dan Marino, turned 60 on Wednesday.
Old man, what the heck's he doing out there? Little known fact, I recruited Dan Marino and I recruited Jim Kelly. And as you know, I did an outstanding job. I told Jim Kelly he'd be the best throwing linebacker on our team. Marino didn't even pay attention to it. He knew he was going to pick.
Jim Kelly, by the way, played his college ball for the Miami Hurricanes. See if the Dolphins can get something going. Brissett, who took over earlier for the injured Tua Tagovailoa. We got a flag down.
In the backfield, which means it's probably coming back with a hold. And it is.
Holding. Offense, number 68. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's Robert Hunt, right guard. Last year he was the right tackle. It's his first season starting at right guard in the NFL.
Yeah, so on the inside position's a little bit different, right? But the biggest thing he did right there is he got his hands wide and then he just had to hold on. And he kept on holding on. So he didn't have to. Get your hands, it's all fundamentals. That's all it is, Brandon, honestly. Pad level low, hands inside, and you'll be okay.
Well, you said Miami needs points. Not good to start behind the sticks. First and 20 here inside of 3 minutes. By the way, 38 years ago today, let's get some action of that man, Dan Marino, and our man, Matt Millen. That little Fox flashback. Look at that. Look at that. The neck roll.
Oh, yeah.
Way back in '83.
That had a different heart then. It was a different kind of guy. Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you now that I wasn't even born when that game was played? But I was born 3 months after that. So. Pressure, dropping it off underneath. Staying on his feet, Myles Gaskin gets it to the 40. Athletic play for the third-year man out of Washington, a pickup of 11.
That was a curly, man. Larry Moe and Curly, he did one of those. Nobody even knows that stuff anymore. But what a great job by Jacoby Brissett to be able to get that ball out. That ball came out really awkwardly, but accurately. Sets up this third and about 5.
But before this 3rd and 5, we have reached the 2-minute warning.
Jackson's in. See if he doesn't try to look for him. But Greg Rousseau is a guy who's gotten some pressure. Let's see if he can get some right now. He's up on the top side and your left side.
Good point on Jackson, though, because Levi Wallace left with an injury. Still hasn't returned to corner. Brissett on 3rd and 5. A big first down. Here comes the flag. Hold up. For the moment, it's a first down for Devontae Parker. But looks like this is on Buffalo.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White saying, yeah, he's pushed off on me.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 27. That penalty is declined, the result of the play.
Look at Tre'Davious White. He's not pleased at all. He knows he's been pushed, right? He forgot the hold on the front side.
So the 16-yard gain and then the penalty.
Watch him on the top there. Hands inside. That's good. That's good. And to me, there was nothing there.
Plenty of time. 2 timeouts as well. Brissett, a little too tall. Parker got a hand on it.
Parker's a big man. You take a look at him. You look at White and Parker looks like he's about a foot taller, but he's not. But he plays big. He's just a big, powerful guy.
6'3", 219. He battled that shoulder injury during camp in the preseason, but told us this week he's feeling good.
Yeah, he said it didn't even bother him.
Yeah. But he's a guy like Will Fuller, who again is out this week for personal reasons, that's just been riddled with injuries his entire career.
I'm surprised they haven't gone after Jackson more than White. He's matched up here man-to-man again on Parker. Down the bottom of the screen.
Brissett takes off, trying to get to the outside and stretch to stop the clock. Game break. Let's go back to Los Angeles.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Browns trailing 14-7, on the Texans, 3rd and 4. Baker Mayfield keeps this one for himself and scores from 5 yards out. We are all tied up at 14.
All right, Chris. Baker looked angry throwing that football.
Did you ever hear of the Browns?
Yeah.
She just said it. I'm just kind of curious. Big down right here at 3rd down. Rousseau has been getting pressure. He just hasn't been able to get home. Jasicki and see what happens if he works the middle of the field.
There he is, 88, left side. And they go there, 1st down. Good call, Mr. Mello.
He's in there for a reason. Like I said earlier, he's a wide receiver that they call a tight end. He runs good routes. He's got great range, excellent hands. So he's going to come in motion. He sees the defender has leverage to the inside, so you work the outside. That's just good, simple football.
They asked him about it this week, his blocking. He said, look, I'm aware of my reputation as a bad run blocker. It's something he's trying to improve on.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Don't ask him to block them. They knew what they were getting when they drafted him.
That one thrown behind Albert Wilson.
That's a 2nd drop by Wilson. That's not good. And then you start to get in his head. So now you got to go back to him, right? As soon as you can, you got to go back to him and let him get his confidence back. They're playing off, okay? You're going to give you that underneath stuff. No, they're going to give it to you. You got to take it.
I mentioned a COVID opt-out last year, but in 2019, 43 catches for Wilson, most in his career. He'll sit this play out. Pressure, just getting rid of it. He did throw it. Now they blow a late whistle as Hughes started to head the other way. It is an incompletion, 3rd and 10.
Well, they brought pressure again. They brought a 5th guy, and the back picked him up. You watch him right down here. Who is that? It's Milano again. What a half he's having. He just went right past him. He forced this thing to step up. And then a good job of coming back with A.J. Epinesa and forces the bad throw. But Milano's the guy who made the play.
And we just had a flag thrown out of nowhere. Now, are they going to say grounding?
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 14. There was no receiver in the area. That's a loss of down. 3rd down.
That's interesting because he was getting hit.
Yeah, the throw was affected by the hit.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, this is a great time to welcome in Mike Pereira. Mike, what do you think?
To me, directly into the ground. What you have also here is a 10-second runoff that goes with this. Miami's got a couple of timeouts left, so they can use a timeout to save the 10 seconds. And I'm sure that's what they're discussing now. But to me, it is grounding.
Thank you.
Even if he's being hit, Mike?
Even if he's being hit, Matt, you know, to me, you just have to make the judgment What comes first? The contact, which does come first, so now he's on his own. So if the contact comes first and then he throws the ball, he's like responsible for it. If he starts to throw it, Matt, and then he's contacted, that's when contact plays in.
Got it.
And Buffalo actually declined the 10-second runoff. They accepted it momentarily, so it will be 1:27 on the clock, but this pushes you back to the 41-yard line and on the edge of being out of field goal range.
And that's what they're looking for.
So now Waddle will try to get him back into field goal range, but even from here, Matt, this would be about a 55, 56-yarder.
Yeah. Yeah, right about 50. It depends where the spot is.
Timeout taken by Buffalo, and while they take the timeout, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime, we'll check out all the early game highlights, including Howie's Raiders against Terry's Steelers, and we'll see what Baker and the Browns are cooking up against the Texans. It's all coming your way on the Verizon Halftime. I better get back inside.
I'm sure the weather's not as warm in Los Angeles where you are, Kurt, as it is here in Miami. Well, now 4th and 17, and they're going to bring out the punter, Michael Pilardi, and not the kicker, Jason Sanders.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Because Sanders' career long is 56, and again, as we said, that's right about where this would have been.
So you have your defense on because you're going to make sure they're not going to fake it.
They do punt it away. And a fair catch inside the 10. But next weekend on Fox starts Saturday strong with a big noon kickoff pregame show at 10 a.m. Eastern, live from Soldier Field in Chicago, and then at noon Eastern on that same field, top 20 showdown. Number 12 Notre Dame, number 18 Wisconsin. Huge big noon Saturday begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on Fox and also Fox Sports app.
They're two well-coached teams. I like that Graham Mertz. I think he had a great start last year. Let's see if he can continue it on through this year. He kind of faded last year. This year he had a pretty good start. So see if he can maintain it.
Speaking of fading, as you saw, the Buffalo offense has faded since getting touchdowns on the first 2 drives. This guy had the first touchdown of the game, Devin Singletary.
So look, what happened right now is exactly what Buffalo needed to happen. They don't give up any points, right? I said that Miami needed to get on, even if it was 3 points. And so Buffalo's defense did their job and got off with 0 on the board.
Singletary again, and he picks up the first down. He's also now up over 70 yards. Here comes a late flag.
A late one is right.
Holding. Offense, number 74. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Replay. Second down.
Well, Cody Ford was the only offensive lineman who was not flagged last week for Buffalo. That's his first of the season.
You're going to watch it there, number 74, the right guard. Gets into his guy. That's nice. Stays with him. And that's, again, like I said, it's more of a hug. More than, yeah, that, you can't do that. Yeah. I don't know how friendly he was. Slightly ill-tempered, I would say.
Well, that backs him to the 8-yard line here with 46 seconds left.
But more important, it took away the first down.
Yeah.
The Dolphins still have 2 timeouts. You got 46 seconds. They can maybe take a shot if they can stop him here at the 3rd and then get off. That's going to be on Buffalo's right tackle. He jumped again. That's Williams.
Again, flags plagued the Buffalo offensive line last week in the loss against Pittsburgh.
Ball start. Offense, number 75. That penalty's half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Pretty clear on Darrell Williams.
Yeah, it's going to be an outside zone. We wanted to get that first step. Outside zone, your first step's a little wider as an offensive tackle.
So, I mean, if you're Miami, if Buffalo runs it here quick and they don't get anything, take a timeout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get a short field, you can take. See if he can't get 3 points out of it.
Singletary from a few steps into the end zone gives him a little breathing room.
And they're calling a timeout, which they should. Now Buffalo should run again the football again and force them to use that last timeout. And then you'd have about let's see, 41. So you might be at the 30-second mark.
Yeah,
something to do.
If you're Buffalo, you don't want to risk the incompletion.
Right.
And then punt it with 37 seconds left. Miami still has a timeout.
Right. Exactly. Make them use that timeout.
43 seconds remaining. Miami, who has controlled the time of possession. They actually have 4 more yards, but Buffalo scored on their first 2 drives. And that has been the difference.
And they also have to straighten out their pass protection because they're still, when they're bringing people, guys are coming home free. That can't happen. You got to get that thing straightened out, especially when it's a free runner.
And again for the Dolphins, Tuatungavailoa left on the second drive of the game with a rib injury after being hit by A.J. Epinesa.
I think Brissett's playing pretty well.
And here's Allen on 3rd and 10. They do pass, and it's deflected in the air. Almost disastrous for Buffalo.
And they did him a favor. Stops the clock. You have 38 seconds. So you can have 38 seconds with a fair catch here. Maybe a little less, maybe 33 seconds. And a timeout in your back pocket. Who gets his hand on it? I didn't see the inside number.
Well, big play, and now punting from his own end zone is Matt Hawk. Just got it away. Dropped, but picked up momentarily, fumbled again, and Buffalo jumps on it. And now they have the football in plus territory with a timeout and 26 seconds left. Unbelievable. Miami can't catch a break.
I don't know what else to say. That's terrible. That's terrible football, right? Don't be on the kicking game. Don't be off sides. Don't rough the kicker, and don't let the ball hit the ground. And so the ball is the game. Waddle tried to take that thing and just lost it.
And Taiwan Jones picked it up. You mentioned it. It's Waddle, the rookie, that muffed the punt. So now Buffalo is on the edge of field goal range.
Right. So now you have to defend the sidelines first of all, right? You got to defend the sidelines, but you still, because you still have, the Dolphins have 1 timeout left, and the Bills have 1 timeout left. So they have that in their back pocket. So they're trying to say that his arm was down.
And Brian Flores hoping for a miracle.
Is under review.
So if he goes down on his own, that don't matter. If he's hit and he goes down, that matters. So here's Waddle. There it is. He has it. He fumbles it, right? Now, does he have control again?
Right there. No?
Did he have it all the way through? That's a tough one. Mike?
Might have had
Michael, are you out there?
Premium voice.
All right, paging Mike Pereira. What do you have, partner?
Here's what I say. I say he doesn't get control of the ball.
There you go.
Look, it's just like making the catch.
Yep.
You've got to get control of the ball, get 2 feet down, or make a football move. And when you're going to the ground, you've got to make some type of football move. He doesn't. So to me, he's really got to hold on to the ball here.
So Mike, it's the
exact. You're going to see the ball loose.
Yeah, no control there.
It's the exact
even though
same.
Even though he's touched, does he have possession here? Tucks the ball in.
Yeah.
But again, it comes out as soon as he hits the ground. I just don't think you can say that that's possession.
So Mike, it's the exact same though as a catch, you're saying?
Sure. When it's all, whether it's a catch or whether it's a fumble, you're getting possession of a loose ball. And so when you get possession of a loose ball, we all know A, B, and C. 2 feet down, control, and time. And to me, he's going to the ground here, and without a third step, which we obviously didn't have.
After review, The ruling on the field stands as called.
Yeah,
And the
good
receiver
job,
did
Michael.
not maintain control of the ball when going to the ground. Timer, please reset the game clock to 29 seconds.
Yep, there you go.
Just like I told you, Mike, you did a great job.
So a break for Buffalo. Miami, their third miscue. Remember, they've also been stopped twice on 4th down in this first half. And a frustrated rookie, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, but a talented, frustrated rookie.
Yeah.
So he'll have an opportunity in the second half to make amends for that.
You're one pass away from field goal range. You got the timeout in 29 seconds. Josh Allen back to work.
Rule number 1 in any level of football: don't beat yourself.
Allen laps it up, dangerous, and almost intercepted by Byron Jones.
That's when he needed to put some mustard on it. Put the ball out there. Diggs was free. Diggs was running. He'd still be running. I don't know how this ball comes up short now. He's going to step, throw. He throws it up high, but nah, he's got to put that out there. That ball's underthrown. That's something you don't hear very often for Josh Allen, because Diggs, that was 6 quick right there.
We saw him last week, Allen, have a couple of overthrows to Emmanuel Sanders. That one not enough mustard. 2nd and 10. Pocket clean. That puts him into field goal range. Back to Diggs.
The only turnover we haven't had today is an Apple turnover.
We've had 5 in the first half.
Everything else, and you got fumbles, you got picks, you got all kinds of stuff.
That was the one by Levi Wallace who left the game.
Yeah, that was a big one. Here's another fumble. And if you haven't noticed at home, most of these are going against Miami.
And that last one, the Waddle muff punt. Brian Flores, all he can do right now is shake his head. So Buffalo takes their final timeout. They're at the 35-yard line here for Sean McDermott's crew.
So it's a 3rd down. Defend the sideline, right? And if not, just if it's incompletion, you're okay. Stops the clock, and you can kick it.
Career long for Tyler Bass, 58. So this within his range for certain.
Protection first. Defensively, get up on them. Watch the 3 receiver side to see if they're going to have any kind of pick. But he's got one-on-one to the top side.
Pressure off the edge, gets rid of it. No one home.
That's okay. That's smart. That's okay. Because all you have now is a 4th down, and you can take your kick. Sanders, one of them wasn't on the same page. So Allen read it. Sanders stopped. He threw it out of bounds. Nothing lost.
Pressure off the edge from Emmanuel Ogbah. So it'll be a 53-yard attempt for Tyler Bass, who has made 17 straight field goals in the regular season.
Here we go. The timeout. The Dolphins. One player was late. He came running in, and he drilled his own player. It was funny.
So Brian Flores uses the last timeout. He's still not happy over there.
Justin Coleman was trying to get out of the way, and I didn't quite catch the number who came in late, but he had good intentions of making sure he wasn't late, and he ran right through Justin Coleman. I put a good hit on him. That's a good football coach right there. Great mentality. I love the way this guy coaches. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. You know why? He's an old wrestler.
Yeah, just like you.
Oh, no, that's a wrestler. Although he wasn't very good from the top. Let me just say that.
Well, he led Buffalo to the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. Of course, a season ago, the AFC Championship game lost to Kansas City. And here he is. Grew up as a wrestler in Pennsylvania. Back-to-back All-Catholic League and National Prep School champion in the early 90s. He went undefeated in 75 consecutive matches.
He was legit. That was a tough wrestler. So I first met him when he was still wrestling as a high school kid, when my kids were breaking into it. And he'd go to these open tournaments, and I would have my young sons there, and I'd get to watch Sean. And I kind of followed him all the way through until he got to the Eagles. And then, doesn't matter. Old wrestlers are still wrestlers.
Now Tyler Bass to try to make this a 3-score game. Nope, pushed it. And that breaks his streak of 17 straight made field goals in the regular season. And more germane to this contest, it keeps it a 2-score game.
Absolutely. So look, and why is that important, Brandon? Because look, you're 2 plays away from being in this game. If you're the Miami Dolphins, you didn't play a good first half. Your offensive line hasn't played very well. Defensively, you start to come along a little bit. You've turned the ball over 3 times, and you're 2 plays away from being in the game or winning the game.
And now with just 6 seconds left, no timeouts, likely the final play of the first half. First half that saw Jacoby Brissett come in after Tua Tagovailoa left on the second drive with the rib injury. Since coming in, Brissett 14 of 22, 121 yards, no touchdowns in the interception, and he'll just go down to a knee.
That's the right thing to do.
Yep, and get into the locker room down 14-0. The Bills scored on the first 2 drives for them offensively. Those were the only points in the first half, as they lead Miami in an AFC East tilt. That was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. First half stats with Buffalo on top of Miami 14-0. You see the Dolphins 145 yards, Buffalo just 7 more, and Miami actually had the ball for 6 more minutes, but 5 turnovers between the 2 teams. 3 of those coming from Miami. That was what really hurt them. And also, we mentioned they didn't convert 2 fourth downs in that first half, Matt. But Buffalo's offense, they scored on the first 2 drives. They really stalled out since.
Yeah, they have. And so the big play was the big deal, right? That's what they did. They had big plays early and often. And so they have to be able to, 2 things have to happen. They've got to get a little bit better in their pass protection, both sides. I think Jacoby Brissett has kind of steadied the ship right now, and he's finding receivers. They're going to score. And this Buffalo team, they've kind of gotten a little bit out of that rhythm, and so they've got to find that rhythm yet again.
Yeah, again, if you didn't see the first half, Tua Tagovailoa goes out on the second drive after getting hit by A.J. Epinesa in the ribs. And it was Jacoby Brissett who came on to try to pilot the offense, but still unable to get anything on the board.
Brandon, I think the other thing that was apparent at halftime was that my tie was much nicer than yours. I'm just saying.
We coordinated with a yellow. I was gonna compliment yours, but if you want to go negative on me, okay, all right. So Buffalo will receive it here to start the 3rd quarter as Jason Sanders sends it away. And sends it away deep over the head of McKenzie.
Brandon, the Dolphins kind of straightened themselves out a little bit and were able to start getting pressure on Josh Allen.
Let's go down to Sarah Kustok.
Brandon, in talking about that pressure, I got to catch up with Miami head coach Brian Flores, and he said it's been all about that type of pressure, ball security, but for the Dolphins finishing in the red zone. They got us, we got them, but he said more than anything, we got to keep moving the ball and make sure we execute when we do get the ball in positions to score.
And Sarah, that's been the bugaboo for them. Couldn't do that through 2 quarters. Josh Allen just 7 of 16 in the first half, but he starts with a nice completion to Cole Beasley. Beasley, who had 8 catches last week, and that's his 3rd here today.
That protection was like the first quarter. He had all kinds of time. I mean, Tolstoy could be written back there with this. He's just going to find the middle of the field. And when you have time like this, your receivers have time to be able to find holes in zones.
Boy, if you had Tolstoy on your broadcast bingo card, pat yourself on the back. 22 yards to Beasley on that first play. Right back over the middle. This time it's Emmanuel Sanders, the 12-year veteran at 34 years old.
Got on top of the defender. Again, hole in the middle of the field. Because of the protection, it's just step and throw. Now, they're going to have to bring some heat here. They're going to have to do something, get an extra man through or whatever, but you can't let him sit back there.
Buffalo getting up to the line quickly. Mentioned Sanders, 34 years old. He said, they call me the old guy. Throwing this time to Sanders again, but in front of the wide receiver. And in fact, Josh Allen said, we need to get you a walker. It's like, the guy's only 34 years old. Give him a break. You know, he's been with the Steelers, won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, a couple of stops last year in San Francisco, New Orleans before coming to Buffalo.
Been with some great quarterbacks. I mean, great quarterbacks. So you're talking about Peyton Manning, you're talking about Ben Roethlisberger, you're talking about Drew Brees, and now you got the young gun.
The young gun, Josh Allen, facing a 2nd and 10. Singletary motions out. They swing it that way.
Great defense.
But Singletary lost it. Yeah, a flag comes in too. So a lot going on at the end of this one.
Whoever the edge defender was out there really did a nice job.
That ball, I don't know if somebody put motor oil on it before the game, but it has been slipping through everybody's hands.
How about it?
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 27. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the spot of the fumble. Automatic first down.
So that's on Justin Coleman.
And I think he may have been the one who was out there. Great job of getting off the block. I mean, and then okay. So he swung wildly and hit him in the face, and that's what they're going to call. But a great effort. Great effort. He obviously he didn't stay on the mask. He stayed off it.
So the 6-yard gain plus 15 on the end of it. And now Buffalo enters the red zone. Play action. Applying pressure, Javon Holland. And Allen just throws it out of bounds where Jones catches it incomplete.
Good job by Allen getting rid of the ball. He knew he was going to throw it out of bounds. He had the pressure. Emmanuel Sanders is one of those guys that you'd look to here because he's one of those guys with a lot of wisdom.
He's played with those quarterbacks you talked about. He said Peyton Manning, coach on the field. Roethlisberger talked about his arm. He just said Drew Brees is a flat-out warrior. Said, no doubt, Josh Allen, the most athletic of the group.
I think he's accurate on all those guys.
He said
they played that way.
Yeah. He said Drew Brees was a different guy throughout the week, and then he flipped the switch on Sundays. Handoff. Singletary, this time holding on to the football. Well, Sarah?
And Brandon, the other telling thing that Emmanuel said about Josh is that he makes you want to play for him because he has such a huge personality, a huge heart. He loves his teammates. And he said, that's one thing I told him, never change your personality. Of course, Josh appreciates what Sanders has brought to the table with his experience, understanding how to win. He's smart, savvy, extremely quick. And he said he's got a whole lot of juice left, even though they call him the old man. And he teases about a walker next to him.
Yeah. But come on, we got guys like Tom Brady playing 9 years older than him.
He might want to look for the old man right here.
3rd down at 6. Allen, instead it's Diggs.
Oh, that's a tough throw to throw back across. Diggs was covered exceptionally well. That ball had to be right on his chest. He had to put it right on him. It wasn't a zip. He didn't have much zip on it because he's throwing back. But boy, that was good, well defended, but a good job by Diggs at coming right across and back on that ball. Here he comes back inside. Look at the defender. Man, he gets a hand in. That's really good. Good defense, good offense, and a nice throw.
So now 1st and goal. Faking the handoff. Allen for the end zone. Diving attempt. And caught for the touchdown. Holding it in, the tight end Dawson Knox. Just as the raindrops start to fall here in Miami Gardens.
Well done by Josh Allen. Again, using his feet, right? Using his feet. His eyes are down the field. He knows he has to go to that corner. Knox does a good job of getting in the right position, putting his body in a position to not have the defender be able to make a play. Gets him on his backside, and then he's able to make that throw.
Knox, who caught all 4 of his targets last week, and this is his first catch today.
So he has him on the backside. You just have to lead him. Your body acts as a shield between the two.
Tyler Bass for the extra point. And for the Bills, the second half starts much like the first.
Absolutely.
21-0. An 8-play drive, 75 yards, capped Allen to Knox. Ball in this game, and now the rain has started after that last Buffalo touchdown. But this is South Florida in September. We had sunny skies to start, hot and humid, and then the rain rolls in.
And you know, when it rains, it rains. it's not a couple little raindrops. It's coming down hard.
Jalen Waddle, who muffed a punt earlier, back deep, but this one going over his head and through the back of the end zone. Second drive, Tua Tagovailoa got injured. That's why Brissett is out there, and it was A.J. Epinesa who laid the hit, Matt.
And he came clean. It was a clean hit the whole way. Landed weirdly. It looked like it was a rib, and they kind of said that when they came off the bench. But Tua's one of those guys. He's still a work in progress, and we talked to him about that. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. I mean, great attitude. Understands exactly where he's at. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, great personality, too. He was so excited to try to avenge that Week 17 loss last year when Buffalo won 56-30-26, and that kept the Dolphins out of the playoffs a season ago. And that's been on Miami's mind. But again, the Bills, like they have the last couple of years, imposing their will on Miami.
And they went back there to Albert Wilson, who dropped 2. Nice read by Jacoby Brissett, because he looked to the outside. That was covered, and he dumped it down quick inside. They've got to get something going here. We said that right before the half. Even if it was 3 points, same thing exists right here.
Brissett, 15 of 24 now. Looking for a flag, Gesicki, but he's not going to get one. Third down at 5.
You know who's played really well today? Milano.
Yeah.
58. He has played exceptionally well. He's done well in the run game. He's showed up in the pass game. He has good speed, covers well, and they also blitzed him quite a few times. He's not a real big guy, but he's productive today.
5th year out of Boston College. That pass complete. Parker able to cradle it in front of Tre'Davious White.
I thought Tre'Davious White was going to have a pick.
I did too. Instead of third down conversion.
That's big, Parker. We're going to watch him on the top side. He stays right where he's supposed to be. I'll tell you what, this coverage we've seen today has been exceptional. Nobody's running away from anybody unless there's been a blown coverage.
Catch of the game for Parker. Now it's a run by Ahmed. Savon Ahmed, strong running. We've got a game break. Back to Los Angeles and Carissa.
Thanks, Brandon. Colts trailing 17-6 against the Rams. Carson Wentz finds Zach Pascal for this 8-yard score. 2-point conversion is good. Colts down by 3. Brandon?
All right, Carissa, so that one's turning into a game. Miami trying to make this interesting, but still yet to score.
If Wentz can stay healthy for a season, he'll be pretty good.
He went down with that injury. They thought he might not be back till week 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Quick throw to the outside. That's Waddle right through his hands. And you wonder if those raindrops are affecting the pass game.
And the answer would be, if you let rain make a difference with your ball catching, you're not a receiver. Now, he just didn't get the handle on it. You can't let anything bother you when whether it's the cold, whether it's rain, whatever it is. He took his eyes off that is what happened, and he let it into his body.
Remember, Waddle played 2 years with Tua at Alabama. A lot of chemistry between those guys, but not between he and Brissett.
Third and short here.
Movement. Both sides pointing at each other.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And that's Robert Hunt again.
Yeah, and that's that referee. That's Wrolstad. He's one of the best referees out there. And so you're going to see the jump. The guard ducks his head, tries to get him to move. They called it off. Wrolstad's one of those guys. What makes a good official? They have control of the game. Bad officials, they let it get out of control, and the players will take control of the game. I mean, a good player will. He never lets the game get out of control.
19th season for Wrolstad, wearing the black and white, been a referee since 2014. 3rd and 7 here. Some work to do after the catch, and Gaskin won't get there because Micah Hyde was ready to bring him down.
Excellent job by Hyde. So let's break that one down a little bit. So Hyde, he's coming from top to bottom, right? So the first thing is use the sideline as your help. The second thing is take the right angle. And the right angle is, if I'm going to miss, you miss back inside so your help can come. He just played that thing perfectly and came down with a big tackle. Sets up 4th down.
Had a good talk with Micah Hyde on Thursday. Talented man in his 9th year in the league, now 30 years of age. Short punt, and it hops out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Separate those players. All Buffalo right now. It's a show on TV. When the power goes out, chaos sets in. Don't miss season premiere of 911 The Blackout tomorrow on Fox. Rain still coming down here in Miami Gardens.
There's Christian Wilkins, that big talented man. He has the ability to take over games. Let's see if he can get something going.
Former first-round pick in 2019 for the Dolphins. Bills trying to get that running game going. Sealer stopping Devin Singletary. But I know you're big on Christian Wilkins, and this is a front that last year at times had trouble stopping the run.
Yeah, and a lot of times, the game has morphed into a different kind of a game. And so a lot of times what you're seeing now are linebackers playing off at about maybe 5 to 6 yards, and the guys up front are asked to take on 2 men. That's kind of what's happening in this scheme. And so the backers got to make more plays, and if you're not aggressive, and if you don't do what they call coming downhill, which is being very aggressive, you're going to get run on.
Here they're going to throw it on 2nd and 9. Well, they were supposed to, and then Allen takes off, slides. That might have been a late hit. Here come the flags.
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them.
One in the back end and one behind the line of scrimmage, which will probably be a hold.
But then Allen jawing at Brandon Jones, who was the one who hit him.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Holding, offense, number 73. Holding, defense, number 25. Those fouls offset, replay, 2nd down.
Okay, so 2 holds. They did not get Brandon Jones there at the end.
No, I didn't think that was. Yeah, he slid, but he came over the top of him. It was no harm, no foul.
Dolphins 10 more plays, but still being shut out. Singletary motions out. Allen takes off. A design run and a good one. First down Buffalo. He and Jones, they were jawing after that last hit, and they're jawing again here.
And there's a flag thrown.
Yep. Right after he hit Allen on the previous play, they started chirping.
So Allen's not going to go down. And so he pushes him at the end. That's what he's not too happy
Personal
about.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 39. That's a 15-yard penalty added at the end of the play, automatic, 1st down.
That's stupid football. There's no need to do that. And he knows it. Sometimes, sometimes you get a little hot out there and you just want to do something dumb, and you do. I don't know anything about that. I've never done anything like that, but.
Well, it's letting the frustration of one play and some chirping boil over to another.
Exactly.
And you're already down 21-0 here. Jones, second-year player out of Texas, was a third-round pick for Miami last year.
Grantis, like I said earlier, like the #1 rule in football, ready? We said it a million times. Don't beat yourself. That's what they're doing.
It's after a game last week in New England where on the stat sheet it looked like New England should have won the game. But Miami, because of solid defense and not having penalties, was able to sneak out of Foxborough with the victory.
You know, sometimes you get a win if you don't play well. The big thing is you've got to play well, because if you don't play well, you're going to get beat. Eventually.
Buffalo did not play well last week, lost to Pittsburgh. Allen, pressure off his back foot. Nearly intercepted. Dawson Knox was in the area as Allen goes down to the ground.
Agba was there and Wilkins was there, and they got some good pressure up inside.
Jason McCourty almost picked this thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a lot closer than I thought he was. Yeah, that's he high pointed that thing. He could have had one.
We talked about Emmanuel Sanders being old for Buffalo. McCourty, the oldest guy on the Dolphins roster, also at 34 years of age. And incomplete. Even though Xavier Howard wasn't even looking at the football, it hit his back.
Xavier Howard has been covering people all game. Even the completions, there's tight coverage. That guy, he's like fly paper out there. Do they even make that anymore?
I don't think so.
Well, they used to make it.
Where you'd hang it from the ceiling and the flies would get stuck to it?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, well done.
See, even a kid born in '83 knows that.
Hey, listen, son.
Third down and 10. Xavier Howard earning that contract. They restructured it in early August.
They need to get pressure.
See if they do. Off the edge. There you go. And Allen to the ground. Emmanuel Agba, the first to get to him.
That's a second good job of Agba in this series. He had an earlier one when he got in on it, and then this one right here for the sack. You're going to watch him he just keeps on coming. 91 at the top right of your screen. Yeah, he just got past Williams. Williams had a bad set, and he overreached. Once you do that, defender gets hip to hip, he wins.
Agba, who had a career-high 9 sacks last year, now in his 6th season, gets his first sack of 2021. Jalen Waddle fumbled a punt earlier. He's back deep, and he lets this roll. Almost checked up. But instead, a touchback with 6:21 left in the third. Who played at Miami. See the 305 chain representing the area code down here, but the Bills are the ones that took him, and today 4 tackles and a sack for the rookie.
Yeah, and learning and getting better with every rep.
Played his high school ball just 15 miles away from here. Brissett underneath to Gaskin, the safety valve. Gaskin gets an extra yard before Star Lotulelei wrangles him to the ground.
Star Lotulelei, Utah guy. Big man, wasn't sure if he was going to play today. He's one of those guys who's hard to move inside. He's got some good quicks. First 2 steps, he's a powerful guy.
You think about he and Russo. No Buffalo Bill last year, Matt, had more than 5 sacks. But today as a team, they already have 4. The double clutch pass complete to Preston Williams, but that's going to bring up 3rd down as White gets him down short of the sticks.
White started it. Milano tried to finish it, and White had to finish it up again.
But I think Buffalo this year is going to have a player with more than 5 sacks.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I think Russo has a chance.
Yeah.
Because he's got some quick twitch, and he's playing over right tackles, which makes a difference.
Brissett on 3rd and 4, first down. That's an easy pitch and catch to Devontae Parker. Well, Miami hasn't had trouble picking up first downs on their side of the field. It's when they get across the 50 and toward the red zone they've made all their mistakes.
I I think Jacoby Brissett's actually played pretty well. He stood in the pocket. He's had, he's been chased out of the place. He keeps his eyes downfield.
20 of 30, had that one mistake on the interception. Helmet runs flying off of Ethan Carter. The first time they've targeted him today, and welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. He's glad to be there because he came down with the catch and he could smile about it.
Yeah, great
that was
job.
a heck of a throw too. Ran right where it needed to be.
But you're right. How about him hanging on to this?
Oh
thing?
yeah, right between two. There's two good hits and a catch. All good football.
Klein and Johnson both popped him at the same time. 2nd and 2. Wrolstad, and under duress, he throws it at the feet of Ahmed, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Addison was getting a little bit of pressure off the edge right there, number 97. Good job of just watch. You can see it on the front side. He's pushing into his face, right? And then here comes Addison from the backside. Yeah, so that's a shrinking pocket right there. But Brissett's standing in there tough. Addison looks like he's lined up off sides to me.
3rd down and 2. Incomplete.
Oh, boy.
Preston Williams was the intended target. Tre'Davious White was there again defensively.
Yeah, White has been all over his coverage today. I thought we have really seen great coverage.
Both sides.
Yes, absolutely. These guys are reading these things like a book. Watch this. To me, no, he was going to try to cut that thing off if he let him. Brissett threw it to the backside, and he was able to still get a hand on it. But great coverage all game long.
So they're going to go for this.
They've been 0 for 2.
Underneath, complete, but then dropped. I don't think he ever with these numbers.
Yeah, that's beating yourself right there. Drop balls, turnovers, 0 for 3 on 4th, and of course the sack. So, yeah, don't beat yourself is the rule, and they haven't followed it.
I feel like if the Bills score here, can really put their foot down on the Dolphins. 21-0 already, and they start at the 41. Beasley slips through. It's a good gain out of it. Game break. Back to Chris in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Brandon. Rams trailing 21-17. Matthew Stafford connects with Cooper Kupp on this 10-yard score. Kupp second of the day. Rams back on top, 24-21. Brandon?
All right, so continuing to track that one in Indianapolis. Thank you, Carissa.
I am so happy for Matthew Stafford.
Feels like he's got a new lease on life.
Absolutely. That guy's been, he's a stud.
And he's showing it through the early parts of this season as a Ram. It'll be 3rd and short. The rain has let up. From here, it would be about a 49, 50-yard field goal.
This Buffalo offense, they still aren't, they're not running on all cylinders. They have, they have the people up front, they played a little bit better, but he's still gotten pressure. Got a few holding calls today. Still have a lot to clean up.
Yeah. But as we said, the O-line has been a little bit better.
Right.
That was something Sean McDermott said they had to improve this week. Trying to get 2 yards on 3rd down, and they do. Good stiff arm by Zach Moss, and that sprung him on the outside for the 1st down.
That's all on Moss, because they got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And then he takes his eyes and sees to the outside. Watch his eyes. Boom. See, right now he knows he's got to get outside, so he does. Now watch his stiff arm right in the face of Baker. That's really well done. And that's the difference between no 1st down and a 1st down.
Another local product, Moss. Went to high school 10 miles from here at Hollandale High. McKenzie motions. They fake the give. And they're looking McKenzie's way. And almost another interception for Howard. He says, oh, I had it.
Yeah, he was out of position, and he breaks on this ball, and had Josh Allen put a little more mustard on it, it would have been a completion, but a great job. That should have been a pick. Great job by Howard to make up a lot of ground in between. He came from the middle of the field and broke on that thing.
Well, he told us he writes goals on his mirror that he sees every morning when he brushes his teeth. And last year, his goal was actually 10 interceptions. He got that. I told him, well, you better write 20 interceptions this year.
That's right.
Like 20%. Knocks underneath and shoved out of bounds shy of the marker. Hey, for more on those goals, let's go back down to Sarah.
Yeah, Brandon, Xavier said you were in his head, but that is part of his process. Since his rookie year, he put it on the mirror, the goals that he had, and he said the years I've had great years, it's when I wake up every morning, look at those numbers, and I'm in the right mindset. Some of those other years when I didn't write down the goals, I got complacent, maybe had some off years. Of course, led the NFL last year, already with a pick today, and BG, you asked for 20 this year, so we're going to have to keep an eye out.
Well, he did say he keeps that list private until the end of the year, so nobody knows what's written on his mirror at home except for him. And they might have gotten the first. They give it to Reggie Gilliam for the first time.
It's going to be right or left foot again.
Yeah, it's close. Looks like they're going to signal that he's a little bit short.
Yeah. You're up by 3 scores. Try to bury him.
Most probably assume this, but we just got word that Tua Tagovailoa officially out for Miami, the quarterback for the Dolphins that went out the second drive of the first quarter. So 4th down, but Buffalo has the offense out there here.
Watch the boot by the quarterback also.
Sneak. Allen, no problem.
Yeah, you see how he did it? So he didn't go right behind the center. He takes a step back, and then you see exactly where the hole opens, and then you get there. In this case, it was to his left side. He saw it quick, and he got into it, and he picked up the first.
And that will wind us down to the end of quarter number 3. With that conversion, feel like the air coming out of the Miami balloon. 21-0. All Buffalo. To nothing. All Buffalo. They scored on the first 2 drives that they had in the first quarter, and they started the third quarter off right by scoring the first drive in the third as well. And right now, they're in the red zone with a first down.
Gabriel Davison for Diggs.
And play action. Looking for Sanders. And knocked free. What a play by Byron Jones.
What did we say?
Great corners in this game.
I'm telling you, this is the best secondary play that I've watched in a long time. On both sides, guys are making plays left and right. Look, there's 2 ways to use speed. One is straight up the field. The other one is across the field. Joe, that's a great defensive play. I mean, closes on that, gets his hands on it, sets up this second down. We have had some phenomenal secondary play here today.
And that is why Jones is in the second year of an $82.5 million deal.
He got man-to-man down here all by himself at the bottom of the field.
Better get the play off. He did. And then he shovels it inside to Moss. That flag coming in here.
And that's going to go against Miami.
Yeah, it's back at the line of scrimmage.
That's Ogba, who's played a good game here today.
Had the sack earlier.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 91. Penalties a half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
You know, we sound like a broken record, but another costly mistake for Miami.
Yeah, they're beating themselves. You're right. He comes off the top. Now well, he made the call, so I guess that's the rule.
See, Allen, so you disagree. Allen was pointing to his helmet quickly.
Yeah. I'm going to be an old curmudgeon and go that you can't even fart on guys anymore. They call a flag.
You got in Tolstoy earlier. Now we pass gas. Man, we got it all.
Just being real.
Down inside the 10 after the penalty. So Allen killed the play and then hands it off. Going nowhere that time, Moss. But it just feels like this drive has just broken the back of the Miami Dolphins.
Absolutely. Especially they stick it in right here. It's going to be turn out the lights. Party's over. Sean McDermott's watching his group, and he's going to be, as with Brian Flores, they're going to look at this tape and they're going to see. They'll try to fix the mistakes, but there's a lot of good things in here. It's just you're going to have to me, it's still the offensive defensive line play. That's where the whole thing starts.
Motion Diggs, and they run the toss. Moss fighting, staying on his feet, and somehow scoring it. What a run by Zach Moss.
And that was all Zach Moss. Great balance, and you said it. That somehow staying on his feet. Now he lowers his shoulder, takes a hit or puts a hit on because he's aggressive, and does that nice spin, comes out of it, balance intact, and then continues to make the run.
He even got his shirt here, but he still was able to stay up.
Nice by Feliciano on the outside. Yeah, look at that effort. That's just a great effort. Turn it upfield, down, finish the run, keep your balance. Well done.
Now, we noted it earlier, but he was a healthy scratch last week, and a lot of people were surprised at that because he split carries a year ago with Singletary. And here, a fantastic 7-yard touchdown run to cap an 11-play drive. And now Buffalo really in the catbird seat. Moss the touchdown, capping the 11-play drive, and Feliciano played for the Miami Hurricanes. Mentioned Moss is from South Florida, so coming back and doing some destruction.
Yeah, so the one thing you can count on when you get an offensive lineman who doesn't play a good game and people talk about it, those are prideful guys. You're going to see what they're made of the following game. And Feliciano has had himself a really good game here. And he got serious about it in the week. I guaranteed he practiced hard, and it's showing here.
Yeah, it's certainly showing. Touchback with 13:38 remaining. Next Sunday, huge doubleheader on Fox first. Bears take on Baker Mayfield, the Browns, and in America's Game of the Week. Tom Brady lead the Bucs against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. All kicking off next Sunday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
That is going to be a great game. And I love to watch Matthew Stafford play. He can throw the ball from anywhere. He knows where he's going with football. And, of course, you got Brady, who's same thing. I mean, he's been doing it for like 54 years now.
Feels like it, that's for sure. Jacoby Brissett again hit as he throws. The pressure continues to get home for Buffalo's front. It's incomplete.
Yeah, A.J. Klein came on a blitz. And, I mean, you could see it, right? I mean, he's watching the whole thing develop right in front of him. He's going to come right up the middle. And then when he does that, he's able to beat the back who's, trying to do his job. And then you get Star Lotulelei with a picture there. He didn't really do much.
Well, you're getting good at that Lotulelei.
Oh, yeah. I remember him. I had him in college. It took me 3 weeks to make that pronunciation.
As you noted, he played in Utah, now 8th year in the NFL. Brissett, here we go again. The same script. And Brissett is taken down, the 5th sack for Buffalo, this one by Justin Zimmer.
Well, yeah, so Zimmer made the sack, but the play was made by Epinesa. Epinesa's the guy who got there and forced him to spin. And then Zimmer, he cleans it all up. Watch this. Yeah, see right there? He makes him spin, and then Zimmer gets himself a sack.
First sack of the season for Zimmer, and for Epinesa, who turned 23 on Wednesday, having himself a nice little belated birthday present here with how he's playing today.
Played pretty good today.
So 3rd and 20. My goodness, again Epinesa gets in there.
Epinesa got him the first time, and then Russo got him the second time. He tried to squirt out, and then Epinesa jumped on him again. Epinesa is just wearing his left tackle out. Just hands. It's a swipe. Goes over the top, right? Now, don't stop. Keep moving, right? Which he does. And Russo gets him on the legs, and Epinesa jumps on and gets a JOP. That means jump on pile.
Jump on pile, yep. Epinesa, the 2nd-round pick out of Iowa last year. You saw him a lot as a Hawkeye. Talented player. So on 4th and 22, this Miami Dolphin offense, which has been in disarray all game, has to punt it away. Isaiah McKenzie takes it to the 37-yard line. Jacoby Brissett taking over for Tua Tagovailoa, but he just hasn't had much protection. In 6 years, $258 million in August, $150 million of that is guaranteed. And they are believing, even though after last week, I think some of the folks in Western New York were about ready to jump off the cliff, but now they're back on.
Yeah, and so they still haven't played their best football. They still have ways to go here.
And Allen off the play fake. How about this up 28-0, taking a shot, and Diggs climbs the ladder. Well, that's how you become the best receiver in the National Football League like he was last year.
Against Xavier Howard, that's a great matchup, and they're talking about it. And the ball hung up there. Now watch this. Howard is going to stay right with Diggs the whole time, right? Where do you throw this ball? Now he's on top. The ball hung. Diggs does a great job of just coming back to get it.
51 yards, second longest play of the game for the Bills. Fourth catch for Diggs.
Diggs and Josh Allen are on the same page. Those guys, they do a lot of work together, and they kind of stay together.
Yeah, they have become incredibly good friends.
First charge timeout.
Timeout here by Buffalo.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, they are really, really good friends. In fact, this week they graced the cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids. Look at these two guys. In their first season as teammates last year, they connected 127 times. And as I said, those 127 catches by Diggs led the NFL. And for more on this budding romance, let's go down to Sarah Kustok.
Careful, BG, but you said it. We see the magic on the field. There's an instant connection, but also off the field, best friends. And Josh told us, Stefan told me earlier today, the crazy part, they had never spoken to each other or known each other until Diggs came over to Buffalo. They said they're similar in humor, very competitive with each other. They both have the same kid-like energy. And he said, this is the real deal. We are best of friends, and we appreciate one another, and it translates on the field.
Certainly did last year, and Diggs making his first Pro Bowl and was an all-time, first team All-Pro, I should say, as well. Here it's Singletary. But you think about it, you've got Diggs, Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, tight end Dawson Knox has improved. Allen has some weapons.
Oh, there's weapons out there. The whole thing comes, look, and this kid can throw it. This kid's a legit player. I mean, he's as good as there is in the National Football League. He's got to get some help from the offensive line, which he has today. And you can see that, and it's a difference. And in terms of the relationship with Diggs, that's a big deal. When you get guys on the same page and they can start kind of reading each other, a lot of good things happen. Bad thing is, you know, we showed that picture to Sarah, and she said it was adorable. Like, no NFL guy would ever say adorable.
I don't know. Sarah, what do you think?
Well, it doesn't matter what I think. Micah Hyde told me, please say adorable.
He did.
He said, oh my gosh, that's just Diggs and Josh. That's how they are. I guess they're adorable. He said, I'll say it. They're adorable. And I'm going to tell you this, Matt, sorry to say it. Stefan agreed with me. He said, yeah, it was.
No. That's wrong. That's just wrong. That must be the new NFL. Because all the old NFL guys I talked about says, in fact, I talked to their coaches and I asked them and I said, does the word adorable fit into an NFL vocabulary? And both of them immediately, no. I agree.
I'm staying out of this one. I'm just going to say they're both good football players.
I'm going to ask Coach Mack if it belongs there.
Third down and 4. Here's another design run for Allen. And he gets the first down.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to tell you something. Jalen Phillips had himself a clean lane to get to Josh Allen. And he was coming full speed, and Josh Allen beat him to the corner. And this kid can run. He's a big kid. He's 6'5". I saw him before the game. I was dogging him, telling me he looks more like a tight end. And he is. He's a big kid. Phillips had a chance to get him, but Josh Allen ran right through it and picked up the first.
And now Buffalo with a chance to tack on even more to this 28-0 lead. Faking the toss. Allen for the end zone. Too much. First time he's targeted Jake Kumaro, but he missed him.
And that's the right thing to do. You put it up high, and if he can get it, fine. If not, it goes out of bounds. You live for another down.
When Allen signed that contract, what a lot of people don't know is that his agent, Patrick Collins, woke him up the day before on August 6th. At 3:45 in the morning, his cell phone rang to tell him the news. Hey, we got a 6-year deal worth $258 million. Josh Allen said, yeah, I'll sign that.
I would think so.
Give me a pen right now. Hands it off to Gilliam, the first man through. But he said that he knew the deal was close to being done, so he slept with a ringer on. He usually sleeps with the phone on vibrate. He said, usually I sleep through alarms, fire drills, but when that phone rang at 3:45, he popped up and answered it.
You better believe him. He woke up and answered it. He's a California kid, went to school in Wyoming. A lot of huge potential. We heard about him. I did one of his games out there, and you could see it. But he was unrefined. And every now and then that shows up. But he has come a long way to become the player he is right now, because this is a legitimate star in this league.
Third down and 8. Allen, he's got some space if he wants to run it. He does, and it's a touchdown.
See if his knee went down before or not. It looks like they're going to say he's in.
Yep, they give it to him. And once again, Josh Allen using those legs.
This is the Elway part of him.
Ooh, it was close. Yeah, you're right. 34-0. The domination continues. Yeah, they're checking the play right now in the replay booth.
Steelers right now are getting beat by the Raiders in the fourth quarter. Buffalo played poorly last week. See, there you go. Yeah, I don't think he's in.
But was he touched? It looks like
the previous play is under review.
If he's giving himself up, it doesn't matter. As soon as where the knee hits the first time he goes down, that's where they mark the football. It's where the ball is when the knee touches that they would do that.
So they're going to look at this a little longer. I mean, either way.
October 1st, only on CTV.
Foot short, but he did get the first down on the play.
He got the first, but when you're giving yourself up, it's where the ball is when you first touch. Bingo, right there. Yep. And so that's a great job by the officials. You see that official, he's standing right up there on the goal line. That's where it came in from. That's a great job of officiating. And it's going to be, maybe about the 6-inch line or something.
Yeah, he's this close. Well, maybe they'll give him another chance here with a sneak.
They'll give him a Maxwell Smart. Missed it by that much.
Moss in the backfield along with Gilliam. It's Moss. Ooh. Boy, just a violent collision with Roberts, but the second effort gets Moss in.
Yeah, and Roberts feels it too. Look, he's holding his left arm. Looks like he hit it with his left shoulder. And that was a big-time collision. Roberts filled the way a backer's supposed to fill right there. And Moss ran the way a back's supposed to run down there. Watch this collision. This is the big time. Good block on the outside. Boom.
Man.
That's shoulder on shoulder. Moss continued and won.
How about Moss? He had that impressive 7-yard touchdown run in the second effort here for his second score.
Yeah, Roberts feels it too, man. He ran right into that shoulder head on.
Yeah, that was full speed.
Zach Moss, man, that's tough running.
35-0. Zach Moss at 205 pounds. Colliding with Landon Roberts at 238, and 205 won the battle.
So here's how it works, right? This is, you've heard of Einstein's theory of relativity, correct?
Man, now we're working in Einstein.
I'm a physicist at home, yes. Just so we know. Okay, so here's what you substitute for. So energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, correct? So in football, it's not that. It's impact equals mass, not your weight, but how big you are, times your speed. And so you add a little bit of Archimedes in there, which is a leverage guy, right? Give me a lever, I'll move the world. So That is how a 200-pound guy can deliver a blow because he's running faster into that impact and have that impact and still score. Thank you very much. Mr. Einstein will.
Can we clip off that last minute and send it to Harvard, Yale, and all the Ivies? Because I just feel like
that's Millen's theory of relativity.
Oh, Bills now over 300 yards, 145 of them on the ground in this commanding 35-8 lead. Or 35-0, I should say. Excuse me. Trying to pitch that shutout. You saw the note. Trying to get their first road shutout in quite some time, and they scored on their first 2 drives of the game. Then the offense stalled out. But the bottom line is they've been able to hold Miami in check the entire ball game
because they're playing with good leverage. That's Archimedes. Okay. So look, if you get low enough, you can take away my strength and mass just by whacking me. Okay. We'll try it later on.
Get out of here. I'm 170 pounds of steel.
Good leverage. I'm 100 pounds heavier, I think.
Oh, Moss enjoying some time on the bench after his second touchdown run, and now it's all pride for the Dolphins.
You know, we joke about that, Brandon, but honestly, so low man wins in this game. And when you do add speed to that, the collisions are big, and that's why smaller guys can take on bigger guys. They get into them fast, play with red leverage, you win.
Yep.
And it's a simple game. It's fundamentals of football, and fundamentals win.
Well, for Brian Flores, Matt, there's going to be a lot of things to clean up, but the question's going to be the health of Tua Tagovailoa going forward.
Yeah, that's a big thing, but I think Jacoby Brissett actually he played himself a fine game. He acquitted himself. To me, the whole thing is in this offensive front, this offensive line. So way too many hits on the quarterback. They didn't sustain the running game. And so that's going to be the biggest piece of the puzzle, is this offensive front.
And really, if you go back the last couple of decades, oftentimes the Achilles heel for the Dolphins has been their offensive line.
Yeah.
Look at just 38 yards in the second half for Miami. Third down and 3. Got to get to the sticks, and Wilson does.
Nice job by Wilson on that second effort. Makes up for those 2 drops he had early, which, you know, he's going to look. Here's the one thing. These guys are very prideful, right? And so when they see something on tape, like when Coach Gibbs would have us after a game, he'd make sure you knew you did wrong, and he'd show everybody. And he wanted to get your pride involved, because once that does, you'll correct it, because it's not going to happen again.
There's Wilson one more time. But you just wonder if Buffalo is in the heads of the Miami Dolphins, because this is going to be 6 straight wins. Remember, they beat him in Week 17 last year to keep him out of the playoffs. Sean McDermott's team seemingly can't do anything wrong against Miami.
Yeah, but Sean McDermott's team still has things to clean up, and he'll show that. I mean, the score is going to be lopsided, but there's still a lot of stuff to correct here. One thing they don't have to correct, though, for both these teams, their secondaries played exceptionally well.
Yeah, we saw some great cornerback play, that's for certain. These 2 teams will meet again Week 8. Obviously, that one will be up in Buffalo.
See, the Raiders look like they're going to beat Pittsburgh.
And as you noted, Pittsburgh was the team that beat Buffalo last week. There's the last 5 games. Pretty good numbers.
Yeah, that's going to keep on going.
56-26 they beat him in Week 17 in 2020.
The Rams go 2-0, 27-24 over Indianapolis.
You talked about Stafford feeling more comfortable in a new environment.
Good player.
Third down and 7 in front of Wilson, but here comes the flag as Brissett is down.
Then there goes the quarterback. He took a hit.
Saran Neal, 33 in the coverage, but hoping Brissett's okay here.
You know, one thing I learned a long time ago, guys talk about toughness, like tough linebackers, tough defensive linemen. Those some of the toughest guys I've ever played with are quarterbacks. And you try standing there all by yourself knowing you're going to take a shot right in the face.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on Buffalo. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 61. That penalty's declined. Pass interference, defense. That penalty's accepted at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
So the penalty accepted on Neil. Zimmer was the one who hit Brissett.
Right. Who's actually played pretty good here today.
Had a sack.
Had a sack.
I feel like everybody's had a sack for Buffalo.
Had a big play down on the goal line, right? When the first time they went for it.
Thankfully, Brissett appears to be okay, able to stay in the game.
You're ready.
And the Bills are going to take a timeout. For Sean McDermott and company, 4:20 away from getting their first win of the season and having a happy flight back north.
Now they'll be happy until they get to Buffalo, and then reality sets in.
You got another one to prepare for. They'll
Exactly.
play Washington next week.
Yep.
The pressure from that front for Buffalo, it has been there from the start.
Epenesa's had himself a really good game, right? He had a couple big hits here. He misses one and forces another one. And they've been after him all game long. Zimmer get himself a sack. Russo got in on some things. Epinesa again, and Russo and Epinesa together. Now, all game long, this defensive line has gotten after this Miami Dolphin offense. 6 sacks, a bunch of hits, 0 for 3 on 4th down.
Well, they drafted, we talked about Russo, they also drafted Boogie Basham in the 2nd round, but he's been a healthy scratch the first 2 weeks. But there was a point of emphasis in the offseason for Buffalo to improve the pressure they were putting on quarterbacks. Looks like that's paying off today.
Epenesa's played well today.
He really has.
Yeah, he has.
That's, as we said, a 2nd-year guy. A lot of youth.
He's still figuring it out. Yeah, they do. Usually around year 3.
Staying upright but not getting the first down, Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown, remember at Texas, man, that was a good football player. He still is. Good balance, runs with good power.
His first year in Miami, remember before this he was with the Rams since 2015. They brought him in to pair with Gaston and then Savon Ahmed as well. It'll be interesting though, Matt. We talked about both of these teams needing to find a run game.
Right.
Curious to track that throughout the year.
Yeah. It all depends on how well this offensive line comes around.
Yeah. Good hole here. And Brown takes it inside the 30.
And that's all on Brown right there. I mean, he able to get to the 2nd level, and then he was able to get out of that stuff with the backers. But he's a powerful kid. Has good balance too. Good hips.
Kind of a frustration spike of the football at the end of that as well. But Miami, since the start of 2019, under 89 rushing yards a game, 2nd to last in the NFL, only ahead of the Steelers.
And what do those 2 teams have in common? An outstanding quarterback. So they rely a lot on that quarterback, and they have the receiving core to do it. And so that's what they do. When you get a guy like Josh Allen who can throw it the way he can and run it, yeah, you have a tendency to lean on him, and you have a tendency to pay him. And if you're paying him, you're paying him to throw it.
$258 million to throw it. And that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. Well, when you're up 35-0 with 2 minutes to play, you have fun on the sidelines. Safeties Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer playing rock, paper, scissors. Now, Micah Hyde, we said, are you a trash talker? He said, no, I'm clean. It's Jordan Poyer that I let do the trash talking.
Well, I don't know who won the rock, paper, scissors, but they were going pretty fast there.
2 good friends that came into the league at the same time, both 9-year vets. And this Bills defense wanting to keep a clean slate with a shutout. Albert Wilson continues a stronger 2nd half, his 3rd catch. you were a defender, a very good one. How big of a thing is it for this defense to hold that 0 up there?
So, I mean, realistically, it's not. But there's a little bit of pride inside there where you want to be able to say, we shut them out.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you go, I wish we could have shut them out. But if you don't, it's no big deal.
You saw the updated standings in the AFC East. New England took care of the Jets 25-6. Almost intercepted.
Again, another job of great coverage. Nice job there by Hamlin.
Yep, and then it popped into Dotson's arms, but he couldn't grab it. And Miami really felt like, man, if we could win here today and get 2 games up on Buffalo, but obviously it's not gone how they had hoped.
No. Back to the drawing board. Long season, like I said. It's more important how you play, right? So if you play well and lose, you can still take it because you're playing well.
4th down here, they're going to go for it. It's all window dressing at this point. Wrolstad, they've already sacked 6 times. Miami, and a miscue right through the hands of Ahmed.
And isn't that fitting for the kind of game this was today? A lot of drop passes. There's a lot of poor plays out here. And there were some great ones, too.
And you saw Tre'Davious White and the defense on the sideline. Some of those first-string guys excited that they're going to keep that shutout. Largest shutout victory since all the way back in '66 against Miami. Now they could just take a couple of knees here with 1:08 remaining.
Trubisky coming in to take a couple snaps. Take a couple knees.
So Josh Allen puts the ball cap on. And Trubisky, who signed a 1-year deal in March after 4 years in Chicago, takes the knee. First road shutout victory since 2016 at New England. And the Patriots quarterback was Jacoby Brissett, who ended up taking over here most of the game for Miami today. Well, you said Buffalo, though, still has some things to improve on as they move forward.
Yeah, they'll look at that offensive line, and there were good things that happened today, and there were some poor things that happened today, and they still don't run the ball consistently. Now, they had the big run, and it'll skew the number a little bit, but you want to see them run the football consistently. The same thing, Miami, same thing, and there's always good in every game, and there's always bad in every game. You just correct the bad stuff.
Buffalo continues its domination over Miami. 6 straight wins for the Bills over the Dolphins, and this one impressive, 35-0. And they get to 1-1. The Dolphins fall to 1-1, and Jacoby Brissett will have to wait and see what happens with the Tua Tagovailoa rib injury.